Where did you get the name Akira? Like, where did that come from?
You know what? Actually, AKIRA was like when me, Eric, and Erica got together. Like we were trying to figure out, like we were trying to brainstorm on names, and AKIRA was one of the names that popped up. AKIRA is just a very common noun in Japanese, and Eric grew up with like one of his best friends was Japanese, and so what we wanted to do was we wanted to have a name in which there's no meaning behind it, but something that has a little bit of a twist and something that rolls off the tongue pretty well. So when we did that, like we actually got that name because it's just like there was nothing behind it, and we wanted to be the one to create the image behind it. Does that make sense? Like if what we wanted to do too is like make it like very unisex. So at least this way, it could be if we wanted to do men's, if we wanted to do women's, if we wanted to do children, if we wanted to do furniture, there was no limit to the name. And AKIRA was just like one of our top option to have a name.
Yeah, have you been a part of any like organizations that have been focused on the Filipino community or Asian community?
You know what, Asian community, yes. I actually we do like a couple like stuff with like Dr. Yvonne Lau at DePaul University. So actually we do like a couple things. One is like public broadcast TV. So I did that like just once, and then we're actually trying to work on a program at DePaul to like kind of like to push a little bit more like, you know, like the younger minorities to kind of like meet us and also like have more of a role model in business as opposed to like medicine and stuff like that. So we do that, and then we have like a lot of like outreach program to like different colleges. So we have a program with IADT in which I go in like once a month. I mean not once a month, once a semester, and kind of like talk to the students. And also like we also have internship programs within our stores. In my office and actually in my business partner's office, and people are curious to find out a little bit more of like the inner workings of what it's like to be behind the retail. So we do have like different programs.
Okay. Yeah. So this is going out for not just Filipinos but for the Asian. Like, do you have anything for like entrepreneurs or owners, since AKIRA is owned by Asians, something that nobody knows? So do you have any like for those Asian business owners, like any?
You know what? The one thing that I think like comes from, you know, like the background. Everybody has different backgrounds, whether you were born here or like you came here to the U.S. when you were younger. But the one thing we all have in common, being Asian, is like like you know what hard work is because you've seen your parents do it, and you felt it before. Like if you really want to get something done, you really have to put your heart and soul into it. But I feel like if you do find that niche for you or for anyone else, you know, if you do find that niche for you, it doesn't seem like it's work, because realistically time will fly so fast because you're enjoying yourself. But if right now you're miserable at your job or anything like that, definitely it's time to like reevaluate your life and see what's important to you, and then from there, why not give it a try right now? You know, just give it a try, and if it works out, it will work out really well.
All right, this is going to be a nice big question for you. What do you feel needs to change with Filipinos and how the world views us?
You know what, I think the biggest thing is like you cannot get rid of stereotype unless you become a better example for the Filipino community. I mean, right now it's not like we went out there and started a business and saying, oh, I want to give a good name to the Filipino. No, we just go out there and become good citizens and become good business people and become good bosses and teach the younger people what a good role model should be. So there is nothing in stone right now that says you have to do something, you know. So being Asian, I think the biggest thing is like you have to realize that you are an example out there, especially if you're in the public eye, especially if you're dealing with everybody in the community. Then one thing that you have to do is really watch yourself a little bit more and set a better example, set more of an example to the community, because from there they are the one that's going to break the stereotype for you. Stereotypes don't go away overnight, it will go away over time. But if you are a good influence and you are a good business person, a good person in general, it will show. And I think the stereotype will definitely go away because people will give Filipinos a better opportunity in any field if we set good examples out there.
Do you look up to any famous Filipinos as role models?
I never had a Filipino role model. That's the funny thing, is like I never really, you know, like you know, when I was growing up, like I never really had, you know, as much role model, because all I did was like really, I just worked a lot with my parents, and I looked at them as like they're hardworking and they're really disciplined and stuff like that. So I looked at my parents as a role model in the working aspect of it. I mean, sometimes I wish they had a little bit more of a balance and relaxed a little bit more, but they never did. They were workaholics. But so a complete role model, like I think one thing I try to do is like I go out there and like I feed off people's energy. You know what I mean? It's like if I meet someone and I feel like they're such a good person, I try to make not the whole person as a role model, but part of what they do as a role model, what their actions are. And I tell myself, I want to be that person because they are making a big difference, or I want to be that person because they're so good to their family, or I want to be that person because it's more like the actions that I look at as opposed to the whole overall package, because no one is perfect.
What's your favorite Filipino dish?
I have a lot. Actually, I could eat Filipino dish all day. I'm a big lechon fanatic. I love lechon, and I love kare-kare because of bagong, and I love dinuguan. So the three main traditional Filipino dishes I love. But I always keep a bagong in my fridge too. So I eat everything. I cooked to you the other day. So I'm hardcore, like 100%. I love every Filipino dish out there. So I'm not, you know, I eat everything.
All right, and final question, is there any additional information you'd like to share with us, like upcoming AKIRA events or like just anything?
You know what, we're always very active in the community, but if you go under shop.akirachicago.com, it's shop.akira, AKIRA, Chicago.com. You can see a lot of the different events we do. And if you just go into the stores too, like normally what I try to do is like I try to make a social network out of it, so you're always going to be informed of what's going on. And you know what? You can always look me up on Facebook too. I always post everything on Facebook. So my Facebook is Jon Cotay, C-O-T-A-Y. First name is Jon. So Jon Cotay.
I'll have a link. So.
Yeah, and then feel free, and you know, and my number is pretty open too. So if anybody have any questions about events or about the store, about products, about anything, feel free to call me on my cell phone. It's 312-804-4183, 312-804-4183. Thanks.
All right, and just give a short shout out to all the Fil-Am readers out there, just saying thanks for...
No, thank you again for listening to me, and I hope my interview here today makes a big difference.
All right, perfect.